We back in the business. Let me share this to the book real quick. Yeah, man, back. Let me put this moon roof up a little bit. Bring some light in here, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Tuesday here on I-91 South, heading back into Hartford, Connecticut. Just had an honest day's work, man. I ain't selling no drugs for once. Nah, I'm just kidding. The only drugs that I solicit is my laughter, my jokes, my philosophy, and my positivity. And that is the focus. Whenever something tries to shake that, I always try to remind myself of the stability, the bigger purpose. We at exit. Episode 46. You see I'm snacking because this is my time of day. I have not eaten anything in 5 hours almost. So I gotta give myself a little taste of something. So I had some grapes. I had some green grapes, some crisp, honey crisp apples, little fresh baked cookies, you know. The usuality. And the thing I wanted to talk about today, I like to riff off the titles. I like to try to riff off titles. I think it's a great exercise with just my speaking and engagement and in general. Oh, and on top of that, damn, did I drop it? Got the lapel mic. You see that right there? You see that? That's the lapel mic, man. This is the case. This is the case right here. I can have another person in this whip with me and give them a lapel mic as well. We can both just be lapelling. Does that make sense? So hopefully y'all don't hear no wind from the AC because all the sound is going through this right here. Let me know. Anybody that's watching, excuse me, let me know if it sounds good. You know what I mean? You gotta stay hungry, yo. I got some good things coming up, man. This weekend I'll be headlining at the River Restaurant, which is in Wethersfield, Connecticut, for Comedy Craft Beer. ComedyCraftBeer.com if you want some tickets. You want to see my full act, my 45 minutes to an hour, which I've been working and crafting for the past going on 13 years. I think I'm close to I got to be over 2 hours. I got to be close, damn near 3 hours now, you know? If not more. I should have more, but you know, my hour hasn't blown up yet, so it's all good. Old material to me, new material to you. Everything is relevant. But you got to stay hungry, man. A lot of times we get complacent. We make certain milestones in life and we think we got it all figured out. The hunger is the thing that keeps you going. The hunger is the thing, just reveling in the hunger strengthens you. I'll give you an example. The way I eat now is I try, for the most part, within the last month, I would say 95% of the time I do this. Whenever I have my meal, I don't eat anything for 4 or 5. I fast for 5 hours. No snacking, nothing. Just water, maybe water with peppermint oil. And I've already explained that in previous videos that it's good for your digestion. But it gets to the point, once I get to that 4th hour, I feel real shaky. Like my body's going through withdrawal. It's shivering. So that's the hunger, you know? Now, if I just succumb to the hunger and just gorge at that particular moment, yeah, it'll make the feeling go away. But if I just revel in the hunger a little bit, and then my body starts producing ketones, which are enzymes from the liver that break down fat, even if for a little bit of time, I'm making positive progress on my body just because I show a little bit of resistance, not succumbing to the hunger, not giving in. So you got that hunger is a driving force. Just like the hunger, you can use the hunger to make yourself actually lose weight and get in shape. We use that hunger to accomplish great things in life. He said, repent 7 sandwiches. Repent and serve the Lord Jesus Christ. His coming is close. Read Exodus 28 and obey God's 10 commandments and keep the 4th holy. Now, see, I'm a comedian, and you talk about the 10 commandments, but there are also 7 deadly sins. And one of the deadly sins is gluttony. And I find it ironic that you are trying to proselytize to me and preach to me when your name is 7 sandwiches. I'm just kidding with you, but it's too much of a setup. If you don't want people to attack your proselytization online, and you talk about the 10 commandments in the Bible and all that, your name is 7 sandwiches. And gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins. So I think you want to get rid of the name 7 sandwiches. I think you want to get rid of that. Yeah, I think you. Yeah. You want to get rid of that. You want to let that go. That was funny. That's a crazy. Like, you just made me think of a funny ass joke. I was like, yo, I was on YouTube and I was going live, and I was, just giving my philosophical whatever. And all of a sudden, some Christian zealot hopped in and said, repent, Christ is coming. Look at Exodus and follow the 10 commandments. But the person's name was 7 sandwiches, and there are 7 deadly sins. And one of the sins is the sin of gluttony. We need to end the policy. That's why I got to stay hungry rather. I got a lot of things. I got the highway going on right now, driving home. There's a lot of things. My tire is still got a slow leak in the passenger rear side tire, but I got my pump in my trunk, and the weather is high, so I'm not going to stress it too much. But I know eventually I gotta go to Firestone and let my car sit there all day. I still don't know what my schedule is going to be like on Saturday during the day to even be able to take care of my car. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, I got to get my emissions test done, which is nothing, but it's just annoying just to go to a place and you got to pay $20 cash so they can handle that. I got to get that done. And then I have to update my registration. That expires in May. I think I can do that online, but I gotta go. I gotta make sure that my car taxes are paid, which is I got the money for it. But there's just a lot of little stuff that I gotta do. I ordered some stickers that I'm gonna make a part of my brand at the comedy shows. It's basically my sticker with a QR code, and the QR code links you to all of my socials, my merchandise, my YouTube, etc. So I think they landed today. Hopefully they look nice. So I gotta go. I'm thinking about that. One of the things on my socials is my bonfire. On Bonfire, you can sell merchandise and T-shirts. So I gotta go home, and I want to design a couple of T-shirts that I can put on the site. So when hopefully I kill this weekend, and if they don't want the shirts that I have on hand, they could just go online and just buy some. So I got all these things, and these are the things that I'm verbalizing to you. There's also a lot of things behind the scenes that I don't talk about online. At least, I just deal with it. It's just a lot going on. I don't have time to talk and elaborate on everything. But my hunger for this comedy is enough to still be funny. Despite all the stuff that's going on in my head, and it's rich world problems. it's first world problems because it's not like I'm on a stretcher with some terminal disease. It's not like somebody got a contract to take out my life. As far as I know, all my family members are doing okay and my lady's okay. You know what I mean? Like, we all gonna have that day where somebody close to us is gonna transition, or we're gonna transition ourselves. But until we get to that point, instead of reveling in the worry of the future that you have no idea, you be hungry and be hungry for the now. Use your hunger to embrace now, you know? Use your hunger to embrace the moment, man, as much as you can. Javi Taker, there's a person named Javi Taker, and I think you left. Well, what's good? How you doing? Nice to meet you. Javi Taker 4531. Yeah, you got to stay hungry. Like, when I first started comedy in my first few years, every like 2 years or so, I would always come up with a comedic breakthrough. Like, when I figured out what callbacks was, I thought, oh, I'm good. I mastered it. I know what a callback is. I just got to make sure I got a callback at the end of my set, or use multiple callbacks, and I'm good. But that wasn't enough. Then I learned about tags, like adding punchlines on top of major punchlines, and I thought I was good. You know what I'm saying? Then I started holding the mic a certain way, a different way, and I thought it was good. Whenever I would reach a major milestone, I thought, I'm there. That's all I need. Now I got to just master this. And sometimes reaching milestones, it takes away your hunger, man. When you think you know everything, when you think you've got it figured out, when you think you mastered something, there's no hunger. Like, I got it. Like, how could you develop perfection? All you could do is maintain it, but how could you be better than perfection? So I think the key is to always realize there's work to be done. Always realize there's always room for improvement. And I think when you have that in your mindset, things can be improved upon. That's the same way of saying, like, stay hungry, man. It's literally the same. Stay with a yearning, a thirst, or a desire to improve. That's what being conscious of staying hungry, man. If you're no longer hungry, you no longer eat. You no longer hunt. You no longer pursue. You no longer chase. So you want to keep that hunger inside you. It's just motivation. Your hunger is just a metaphor. Man, somebody calling me. Like, damn it. It's just a telemarketer, man. Yeah, but you want to stay hungry, man. You want to keep that desire going. If you're not thirsty, you'll never drink any water. If human beings did not have the desire of thirst, we would all die of dehydration. So hunger, which is another word for desire, it's not literal, your stomach growling, but sometimes people's stomach be growling, you know what I mean? And that gives them the motivation to want to eat. Always keep that inside of you. Like Michael Jordan, when he was at the top of his game, nobody was better than him at basketball. And then, for the most part, he was busting dudes, man, running through them. So he had to get to the point where he had to create different mental challenges to keep his desire or his hunger for the sport beyond just the normal desire to play it. Like, he mastered the game. And he was beating everybody, getting championships, dominating. So it wasn't just about that. He had to create fictitious beefs and fictitious ideas. It could be a team that sucked that had a 2-60 record, way out of the playoffs. He could literally just phone it in. He'll make some stuff up like, yo, I heard you talking about my grandmother. Like, just to motivate him to want to take away the compassion and want to beat them dudes down on that court, man. So I'm guessing with that example, sometimes you gotta, like, if your drive is low, You have to play mental games with yourself to keep yourself to keep yearning to strive and chase and be the best. There's no end to it. We're never going to reach the zenith, the max, the pinnacle of whatever all this is, because it's infinite. You said, what motivates you? Aries Spears? Yeah, I wonder who is Red Alert Man, man. Red Alert Man know me, man. What motivates me is being the best comedian that I could possibly be. What motivates me is using my craft to make people laugh, to inspire people, and to monetize. You understand what I'm saying? To get to a point where I don't have to punch in. I don't have to do what somebody else said I have to do in order to take care of myself, my family, and my loved ones. That's what motivates me. What motivates me is just giving my points of view. I'm in the laboratory inside my head, creating all these potions. Like Tree said, I'm in the lab, creating these potions and concoctions, and to me, they work. But I don't truly know they work until I present it to the world. And when I present these potions and concoctions to the world and they drink it, and the purpose of these potions and concoctions is to make them laugh, and they think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? And for them to get me, for them to understand my joke, for the joke to continually work, show after show, city after city, regardless of demographics, that's what motivates me, to the point where I get to the point where, like, I know it's taboo to talk about Bill Cosby, but Bill Cosby never really went to open mics. Bill Cosby just understood funny. He just knew inside of his head what people would like. And I would never say I'm on his level comedically, but sometimes I'll be like, yo, the people gonna like this. And sometimes, right, I'm starting to get to that point. What motivates me is me being right. Like inside my head, I had this idea of this joke that would work. And then I present it to the people and they love it. And not only do they love it, they're following me on socials. They're giving me a tip. You know what I'm saying? They're following me at multiple shows and stuff like that. I'm starting to low key. I got this one group. Let's party. Like early on my career, I used to always like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't coming to my shows, or as a new comedian, your family only really rock with you for the first 2 or 3 months, but after a while, you can't expect them to go to all your shows because they know all your jokes. So they support you for the first 3 months. Then you don't hear from them like 10 to 15 years, and then when you blow up, and you're in arenas, and they see all different material, then they back on again. So I used to get on myself like, damn, why fam ain't coming to check me out, blah blah blah. But I'm worrying about something that's not happening, not focusing on what is happening. Like it's like a party of 8. At my last 3 or 4 shows, that group of 8 people showed up. I got a following. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put some gas in my car. We're gonna talk. Give me 1 second. Taking a gas break. Literally like 20 seconds. My bad. Get the gas. Man. I messed up. Yo, I legit dropped my lapel, man. I had a boo-boo moment. I wound up dropping my lapel mic. Yo, I hate when the social media people, they be holding the lapel mic like this. You don't have to do that, man. But I had it clipped to my seatbelt. See, look, look at me not paying attention. I had the lapel mic clipped to my seatbelt, so when I took the seatbelt off, it just fell into the back seat. But we're gonna do something better. We're gonna put the lapel mic right there on my breast pocket. Just checking out the gas situation. I'm putting like 40 in the tank, no problem. Got a full-time job. I got money. Yeah, but what I was saying was, what up, Yadava J? You calling me black? What's good, black man? So I'm assuming you a black man, because if a white person say what's good, black man, that actually sounds kind of racist. So I'm just assuming that you black or a person of the colored persuasion. And by that I mean Latino, because Indians damn sure ain't gonna say what's good, black man. And no Asian like Chinese and Japanese ain't gonna say that neither. Unless they was raised in the hood. Now, if they was raised in the hood, then they saying all kinds of niggas. You know what I'm saying? And they getting a pass too. And they getting a pass for the word. That sound crazy as hell. Yo, that sound bad crazy, man. But yeah. So I'm worried about family and stuff like that. And my family do, like my immediate, they support here. They do. But it's like the support, it dries up after the first few years. And instead of harping on your family, there's billions of people out there. You gotta use your hunger to build up that audience, bro. And low key, that's what I've been doing, man. Like it's coming together, man. It's definitely coming together, and I'm getting a taste of it. And when I start to taste this, and it's not about fame or nothing like that. It's just about, my goal is to be autonomous. My goal is to be autonomous with my artistry. Love my job. You understand? I think my job is fantastic. I think there are great people. They know I'm a stand-up comedian, and I tell them all the time, I would definitely follow protocol when it happens. But it was like somebody offered me like a ridiculous deal to go on the road. I got to take that. And it's up to me to, once that road gig ends, it's up to me to continue to perpetuate that. It's a constant run. It's a constant grind. Honestly, I need to put the press kit together, and I got to start looking into getting a booking agent. I got to figure that out. That has to be figured out, because if it comes to the point where I'm getting weekend gigs, you know what I'm saying, between Friday, Thursday, and Sunday, and then I get to the point where I'm making $5,000 to $10,000 on weekends on a regular basis. I mean, my job is cool, but that's 10 times, man. Listen, man. But we're not going to live in the future. We're living in right now. We're living in the now, in the moment. And the moment that is going on right now, I'm talking to y'all guys, man. My celestial brothers and sisters. Whether we, regardless of what race we are, regardless of our backgrounds, our creed, our sexes, our gender, when you strip away all that, when you strip away all the ego, all you have is atoms. All you have is atoms, protons, neutrons, and electrons. All of us are an assortment of protons, neutrons, and electrons manifesting ourselves in different forms relating to each other. That's all we are. People get so caught up in the race, this race, going to war with that race, and we want our legacy, we want this land, and we should be this, and we should be... Man, if you strip away the ego and strip away everything, we literally are all composed of the same fundamental material and matter. All of us are the same now. And when you understand that, and when you really, really, really realize that, how simple it is, and how we are literally all exactly the same, it just changes your whole mindset, man. Like, I get caught up in the worldly stuff. I get caught up in worrying about trivial things of this earth. I get caught up in it, and I don't want to be too cynical because I want to enjoy this experience as much as I can. I'm not going to be an asshole. I'm not going to be a nihilist or on some black pill. You know what? I might as well. I don't care about nothing. I might as well just end it all. No, not at all. I don't believe in that. I just don't believe in taking this as serious and being as offended as people are. Yes, there are offensive things that happen in the world. Yes, you're going to get mad. Yes, you got to defend yourself and all that. But just never forget, at the end of the day, all this is an illusion, man. If we had a magnet or the power, the technology of a magnifying glass to really, really see what all this really is, it would literally look like the Matrix, just ones and zeros, a bunch of dots, a bunch of circles and empty space. There's no form without empty space. You need one. You need both. You need empty space to see the form. You need form. Form defines empty space. Empty space defines form. You zoom in, that's all it is. That's all we is. We're a bunch of dots. We are a bunch of dots held together by some type of strength, some type of force. I forget what the magnetic force that keeps our atoms in close proximity so we don't just burst and explode and just disperse. There's a name for it. I can't think of it off the top of my head. So when you really, really start thinking about that, I said this in an older podcast, man. You know what? I don't mind reiterating it because I'm gonna tell you the major problem, entire planet, the one problem with the entire planet, and if people address this, war would no longer exist, fighting would no longer exist, hunger would no longer exist, fear would no longer exist. Scarcity mindset. The scarcity mindset is at the base of pretty much every issue on earth. We don't have enough oil, scarcity mindset. We don't have enough land, scarcity mindset. There's not enough women to go around, scarcity mindset. There's not enough men to go around, scarcity mindset. There's not enough money to go around, scarcity mindset. We don't have enough time to get it done, scarcity mindset. When you realize all of this is infinite, there's no such thing as time. Whatever you don't finish in this reality, do you realize your atoms have been recycling over and over again for eternity? Part of your atoms was probably a part of Leonardo da Vinci. Part of your atoms was probably a part of Michelangelo. Part of your atoms was probably part of Albert Einstein. Part of your atoms was probably Joan of Arc. Part of your atoms was probably that of Jesus. Part of your atoms was probably that of Muhammad. Part of your atoms was probably part of some great architect that drew up these cathedral blueprints that would take 700 or 800 years to make, and he knew this, and he knew he didn't have the technology to finish it. But he knew he didn't have the technology to finish it, nor did he have the lifespan to finish it. But if he had a scarcity mindset, like, oh, I'm not going to have time to finish this, it's going to take too long, I'm not going to witness it in my lifetime, he would have just scrapped the blueprints. But he still put the blueprints out. Not only was his idea on the blueprint, somebody else picked it up, but part of his atoms got redistributed, possibly in the person that made that. If he had a scarcity mindset with time, there would be no great cathedrals. They would just throw away the paper because, like, damn, there ain't no time to finish it, so we might as well just... Everybody gets so focused on, we got to do this right now. We got to do this. We have to do this within our time. But this throughout history constantly get done. A lot of people, they weren't just fighting for their generation. They were fighting for generations, future generation and over generation. A lot of these plans like Jim Crow, and not to take it. Now, I'm not even going to go that negative route. We're going to keep it positive. But sometimes there are long-term plans for good that are beyond just your own finite lifetime, right? And if they had a scarcity mindset, they'd be like, what's the point of even doing these plans, man? If my life ended tonight, Well, first of all, I mean, I got no control of it. Once your time comes, your time comes. But I no longer have this yearning. Oh my God, yeah, I got the hunger. I think you gotta be hungry, but not be thirsty, not be desperate. But I no longer, like, I'm 47 years old. I could, there are people that have accomplished way more than me in a fraction of my lifetime within 10, 15, 20 years. And I could lament over them like, oh my God, I haven't made it. I haven't made it yet. And these people, they've did it by the time they was like Chris Cross was famous by the time they was 13 years old. I'm 47 and I still haven't made $1 million and blah, 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 blah. I don't got that much time left to do that. That is a scarcity mindset. And if that thinking really, really bothers me, it's some people that really, really think like that. So by the time they're 50 years old and they see they haven't made it and they feel like they're on some clock, even though time is infinite and it doesn't even exist, really, they start doing desperate things to achieve whatever it is that society tells them: the house, the car, the millions, the stocks. And if they don't achieve this within a certain amount of time that's literally just man-made, they feel like they're failures. Oh my God, I don't got that much time. Scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset. We only live for a certain amount of time and we're going to die. So we got to do X, Y, Z. We got to follow this Jesus. If we don't, we're going to die and be destroyed forever. Scarcity mindset. If you had the mindset, like I said, that these atoms existed before we got here. This ain't even ours. You know what I'm saying? This is just a manifestation, and me talking to you, you listening to it. This is just an incarnation of a collection of atoms, man. When you start saying stuff like that, it totally changes the mindset, totally changes the fear. I'm not saying run out here and live reckless. Like, if you want to follow your Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Judaism, whatever gives you peace and solace and it gives you, like, your life some type of purpose, fellowship, camaraderie, cool. By all means, do that. But when you try to force it on people, like the person there, if you scroll up and repent because Jesus coming, that's a scarcity mindset. You're trying to scare me into something out of fear. Why should a religion have to use fear for you to follow it? If you have to scare somebody into doing something that's supposed to be beneficial, like on a spiritual, beautiful level, how much water does that hold, man? How authentic, how true, how real is it? Imagine you went to go buy a car. You got the money, you trying to buy a car, and he's saying, like, listen, man, if you don't buy this car, you're going to die tomorrow. So you better buy this car. If it's a good car, you don't have to threaten me with dying to buy the car. The car should be able to sell itself without using fear and coercion in order for me to buy it. Yeah, and that's what a lot of these religions fail, because they used to sell love. But a lot of people, like in the early days of Christianity and different monotheistic religions, after a while, it's like, yo, we dying left to right. We're not seeing any of our problems answered. So they started, getting into philosophy and going their own way and really started getting enlightened. And around time that folks started getting enlightened, that's when the church is like, man, the love message ain't really working. So now we're going to use fire and brimstone. And that's when the great comedy by Dante, down from Dante's Inferno, the whole idea of pitchforks and devils and torture and all that, those ideas came from him as far as describing hell, because the love wasn't really working. So now we're going to scare you into it. We're going, you know what I mean? We're going scarcity mindset. If a person didn't believe that death was an ending and knew that they always existed in an atomic form, and they will continue to exist in an atomic form, just get over the ego. No, you're not going to have your same memories be transitioned over. But, we have deja vu, we have inference, we have clairvoyance. We make a lot of architecture and art structures or whatever that leave clues of our previous existences. We leave clues all the time. That's the fun about existing, man. It's constantly being surprised. If we always remembered everything, this would be the most boring thing ever. Even the Bible itself says that God limited his understanding and purposely limited him, like as far as what Adam and Eve sinned, and he purposely took away his infinite knowledge so that he wanted to see what decision they would make. Even though, I mean, that's still contradictory, because he, at one point, he knew the total outcome. So you knew the total outcome, but then you just made yourself forget the total outcome. Come on, man. Like, it's religion, especially Christian, it's just too contradictory. I can't rock with it. When you start to get down to it, to the basic bones of it, but like I said, if it gives individuals solace, that's cool. But trying to preach to me with the cliche, Christ is coming, you better repent. I already was going to die. I already was. What could a Christian, how could a Christian preach, like a Christian or Muslim or Jew, how could they preach to somebody that don't believe in death as an ending? How? You can't. You can't persuade somebody. You can't persuade a person with starvation if they have infinite amounts of food, if that makes sense. You can't persuade somebody with money when they got a Scrooge McDuck vault, when they know they have that. See, you can only persuade somebody with money if they have a scarcity mindset, if they don't realize there's an infinite vault right inside them. There's an infinite, and I'm speaking a metaphor, but there's an infinite vault of money right inside them. But if they don't know that, they feel like, oh my God, I only got a limited amount of this money, which is your time on earth, this limited amount of life. But this person is saying, yo, you know what? But I could plug you in to this vault over here, and then it'll give you money forever. You just got to follow this. You got to follow that. You got to follow these rules. You got to say you believe in this person, and then I could plug you in. And somebody taught you that the money inside you wasn't infinite, and somebody taught you that the money running out is a bad thing, so you went along with it. And you can control that individual as much as you want. But the person that knows that he has an infinite vault within, that scarcity tactic don't work. It doesn't work on me no more, man. Alan Watts broke that from my mind in 2011. But I didn't really fully understand it. And I still don't fully understand it. But 2011 to now, that's 15 years of me just listening to lectures and just having philosophical discussions and discovering different philosophers. And there's even more I got to look up. I want to look up a lot more works of Marcus Aurelius, man. But Carl Jung and Neville Goddard especially, man. Man, you start to see things totally different, man. And it's not on some, basically you live forever based on an opinion about a God. No. However you're experiencing his existence, however things happen is based on the choices you make within here. If a fish flaps his wings or moves his tail, his fins or moves his tail a certain way, that's going to make him move a certain way in the water. The way a fish moves his fins and his like tail or whatever has nothing to do if he dies and his atoms get recycled and he becomes an eagle. Has nothing to do with how he flies and in his next form. Am I being too deep? Sometimes I'm too deep, yo. Sometimes I get too metaphorical, but you know what though? I'm not going to come to an understanding with everybody. That's impossible. There are 8 billion different human manifestations on this planet, and they all, I mean, yes, a lot, some are similar. They say there's only basically, I think it was like 6 or 7 personality types, but still, that's still, I think with seven numbers, how many different variations can you get from 7, like combinations, like 2 number combinations, 3 number combinations, 4 number combinations, 5 number combinations, 6 number combinations, and 7 number combinations, 1 through 7. How many different combinations can you get out of that? You know, There's billions of different types of combinations of personalities and individuals on this planet, man. Some are going to rock with the things that I say. Some are. I want those with the hunger. See, I brought it back. With the hunger of wanting to merge with like individuals, man. I don't do this to convert anybody. I don't do this to convince anybody. I'm just talking, man. And if it just so happens that some individuals like my message and what I gotta say, we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna do. And if it's something that's not for you, you can turn the channel. If sometimes you like to watch just to hate and think I'm crazy, then I'm entertaining you. You know what I mean? It's going to serve a purpose for everybody. I don't think I'm abrasive to the point where, somebody wanted to take my life. But, people have lost their lives for lesser things. And we all have an expiration date in this physical form. It's just some individuals are, proactive. And they may want to expedite the process either with themselves or with others. And that's critically insane, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I just love this. Keep that hunger, keep that thirst for knowledge, keep that desire to always want to grow and be better. Figure out stuff about your mind, figure out stuff about your body. Try to have as optimal of an experience as possible on this planet, man. It's like you watch a TV, right? And if it's like a lot of dirt and grime on your television, yeah, you can watch it, but the picture don't look that good. You can take that rag, put some Windex or whatever it is to clean that screen and wipe that screen off real good. The viewing experience is much, much better. And the same thing can be said about us. Life, it could be a certain way. You're a certain way, maybe whether you could be obese, you could smoke too many cigarettes or whatever, and you want more of an optimal life. That is like metaphorically wiping off that screen so you can have a better viewing experience. That's what I'm doing. Not snacking every 5 hours, listening to something positive, philosophical in the morning before I try to do it. I don't always adhere to it, but I try to listen to something really, really positive and spiritual in the morning time. I really try to do that. What else? Like I said, eating once every 5 hours, preparing my lunch for work. I got to get up. I leave for work every day at 6:30 in the morning. I drive for an hour to work every morning, Monday through Friday. Now, before, when I wasn't preparing my lunch, if I don't prepare my lunch the night before, I'm rushing, I'm scrambling. I'm the slowest person at getting ready. So if it's not prepared the night before, I'm going to be late for work. So it's now it's to the point where I prepare like 3 days in a row, just so that's just one thing I don't worry about. I wake up, bam, it's already ready. I'm good. I save myself time. I can focus more on a joke. I could usually I review these videos the next day. I can review the video. You know what I'm saying? I throw it in AI and have AI break down all the good points and all the things that I spoke about. You know what I'm saying? That's me wiping that screen and making the viewership of the existence more optimal. I could keep talking and ranting on forever, man. I love doing this, man. Just keep your hunger, keep your thirst and your desire for this existence, man. Try to get the optimum. I'm not saying the guy to be the super best, but every day is trying to do something a little different, just a little improvement. And I need to get on this a little bit more. It can be something that's you never did this before, but you do 10 push-ups, and not even you do 10 girl push-ups, whatever. Me, I'm 47. I'm heavy. I weigh 250, so girl push-ups, I'm still pushing up almost 200 pounds of weight on my arms. Do 5 of those a day. 5 of those a day is better than 0 of those a day. That is one slight improvement. That is you gradually wiping off that screen a little bit, making it more clear so the viewing of existence could be just a little bit more optimal. And you just add little things day by day. It becomes a routine. Pretty soon you got a whole system that you're doing, and you are a revamped, overhauled individual, and you just wiped it. You just did baby steps, little by little. You didn't try to create the entire skyscraper. A skyscraper it starts with the foundation, and then even when they put the stones up, it's brick by brick. There's one brick, and they're not putting like 30 bricks on at the same time. It's one brick, and this is old school construction, but one brick and whatever cement they use in between, another brick, cement in between. Like, they'll lay a bunch of bricks down, put the cement on it, lay brick, cement. You know what I mean? A gradual process. They ain't trying to dump all that stuff at the same time. They had a plan. They formulated a strategy, and they adhered to it. Now, I'm not good. I'm not good at writing stuff down and sticking to it. Like, my plans is pretty much in my head. It's even to the point now I don't even write jokes no more, man. Like, I literally get the idea in my head. Watch this little kid. He's riding reckless right now. But I literally get the ideas in my head. I say it one time. I might write a bullet point. Boom. It's just locked in. I have not brought a notebook to the open mic or to my shows. I already know what I'm going to talk about in my head. I see it. The notebook is in my brain, man. The notebook is in my brain. But I put the bullet points down. I recite it over and over. I may make a Facebook status, whatever. Like, whatever system works for you to be as optimal as you can, do it, man. It's beautiful outside, man. Life is a beautiful thing, man. You don't want to get to a point where you start to lose your faculties and your health, and you can't physically do things the way you were able to, and then you're regretting all of the things you did because you took your youth in that state for granted, state that you were in for granted. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that. But I had enough preaching. I'm about to get, I don't know, I became Dave Chappelle. I've had enough preaching. About to get off this. I only said about a couple of funny things. I only said a couple of funny things, and it was based on that religious person. I feel like, for some reason, I feel like it's a woman, but it was about that religious they that hopped in, named 7 sandwiches, telling me to repent and follow the 10 Commandments when her name is in direct conflict with gluttony, one of the 7 deadly sins. That's hilarious. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna take that thought to one of my clean shows, to one of my church shows. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you. You know what I mean? If me ranting this whole time, the whole point was to find that one joke. When you're digging in a mine, sometimes you want that one diamond. So I dig through all this, and I got that one joke. Then for me, that was the purpose of this whole thing. I stayed hungry. I stayed digging. Not even realizing what I was doing. Bam, I found a gem. With that being said, my young and up-and comedians, there is no such thing as writer's block. If the comedy gods have not given you anything new, that is their way of telling you to work on the things that they already gave you. Stay away from the nonsense. Stay away from the foolishness. Stay away from the drama. Stay away from the gossip. Stay away from the negativity, and lead with love. Focus on the funny. Life is not something that happens in spite of you. Life is an experience to behold. And with that being said, peace.